and welcome back to my channel. Got a few things to talk about tonight. Firstly, apparently I've just read that the host broadcast and the associated media partners are going on, all the journalists in Australia, from Australia and in Paris, are going on strike for 5 days. This is unprecedented. I cannot remember when there has been a media strike, so I think it's going to affect, well, we'll see, but there's going to be skeleton staff, so it's newspapers and TV. Apparently all the Channel 9 media people are actually going to strike starting tomorrow for 5 days, so I find that to be very interesting. Now, I'm looking for a channel. I'm supposed to give out a shout out to Harrison, who's been on to me for I don't know how long about shouting out his channel, and I can't find the link for it. So he keeps telling me, Harrison, and he changed his channel name, so that's why I can't find it. And I'm sure that he would tell me where it is. So the other thing is Bruce Lemon was back in court today as well, because he's trying to, there we go, Harrison, see, I knew he would be there, Harrison Cochrane and Phoenix Taylor. Oh, see, I spelled Phoenix wrong. Phoenix. You sure that's how you spell it? There we go. He's got 19 subscribers, apparently, so he'd like some more, so I'm just going to put it here, and you can do with it as you wish. Silly girl. Look at me. Who are you calling a girl? Mate. What's this mate business? All right. That's his channel. Right. Bruce Lemon was back in court today. He is trying to delay having to pay any money out until he's done his appeal, and he had a very interesting lawyer today. A lawyer who genuinely defends bikies. And very, very interesting. So, but we want to get back and talk about the issue that Katie currently has with Gypsy, which is an issue that we all had. We all question. It's funny how a lot of people question the motives as it happened, and we went, "There's something not right here," and something not right here, and then suddenly, Katie has used the word, oh, not yet, Harrison, manipulated. That she's been manipulated by Gypsy and Christy. And I find that to be very, very interesting, that for a journalist to be constantly manipulated is bizarre. How many times can you be manipulated by somebody? You know? So, and the other interesting thing that I'm finding too is that she, I don't know whether she's starting to feel a bit sorry for Ryan. She's certainly trying to change her tune. But maybe she might realize that Nick Godrigan was actually also manipulated and played in this. And that he, although he is guilty, that Gypsy has to take some responsibility for that. So Gypsy Blanchard has a PR team that thinks she's going to be an influencer. Well, we saw in her question and answer that she wanted to be an influencer. Remember, she wanted to do psychology, etc., etc., etc. She sent these photos to Nick and posted them on her Facebook 2 weeks before the unaliving. She's not an influencer. No one should be a fan of this woman. Well, we weren't really. We were just very concerned that you were fighting for her in her corner. Which then brings me back to the Wilkins. And I can't help but think how long before she realizes that they've manipulated her as well. Gypsy is one of the most diabolical people that I've spoken to in my life. I believed her stepmom that Gypsy needed time and love. There is no fixing her. She's so narcissistic that she doesn't listen to anyone. Oh, there we go. Narcissistic again. I wish I could have cut ties earlier. I was honestly too afraid because I know they go after anyone that speaks out about them. But I'm not going to live in fear. I'm going to speak the truth. I won't be there. I wasn't their friend. They used me. I won't be used. I also won't be a pawn in someone's public game to change narratives. This is someone who should remember Gypsy Blanchard is when she's pretending that she's famous. Is she alleging that there's trolls? So is it now Gypsy that's going to be causing all of this other stuff to her now? Have we got another player in all of this? It says, and then someone says, my opinion comes from 48 years of first-hand therapeutic experience working with those who have known a lifetime of childhood trauma for more than 48 years. I've filled my heart, office, and home, and with much like Gypsy, this woman's a foster parent and something. She needs to remind Katie that she previously stood in support. No one needs to remind Katie that she previously stood in support of Katie. Katie is aware. Enough said. She tried to help. Enough said, Katie, I'm sorry you were hurt. Take time for you to heal. Someone says, generally curiously, is anyone else concerned what this girl could do to her child? I mean, again, we've had that discussion. Well, what a shift. I'm glad you figured the truth out. I'd love to see what you can find on her and what she did to Nick. It is quite disturbing the way she manipulated and used his disabilities. I know, like myself, very much can understand we both have children with disabilities. Good on you for speaking out. She says, I'm not going back in time. I'm going to share what is happening right now. Speak your truth. You gave her a chance. You earned the right to change your mind. So screw anyone else who is against how you feel or is questioning you for it. She says, trust me, this isn't easy. I know people think I was a fan. I wasn't a fan. I offered to help somebody that asked for help. It's funny how they all happen to ask her for help and then they all happen to manipulate her. So what happened between the two of you? Gypsy is a sociopath. Gypsy happened. Or maybe in time you'll share the tea. I'd love to know the full story. I've been following you for some time now and your posts are amazing, but I've been on a major roller coaster ride with this family. I'm so sorry they have used you. I think it's time to cut ties for real. And she says, I blocked them all. I'm glad to hear it. It is how quickly she went from tears to calling Pen and being happy. This is 100% narcissistic behavior. It's not healthy, and she's continuing to cycle having a baby. That was a moment where I knew that she was a sociopath. I knew she was a sociopath before that. I actually told Christy last week, Gypsy was either a sociopath or a psychopath. Let's just say she didn't exactly disagree. Then Katie says she isn't getting trauma therapy. You can't fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. And then goes on, the conversation goes on. What was her real involvement with her mum's death? And Katie says, I don't think we will ever know. What made you switch? Like what exactly? You seem to be behind her and her stepmom and would defend her so hard. If you were truly done with Gypsy, you'd stop talking about her. Someone says, I made a video today on YouTube. Check it out. We're going to check it out. Get those views, girls. Girl. Curious because I struggle with him and what he says, but do you believe more of what Ryan has said? She says, I don't like Ryan. He was definitely out for fame. Christy didn't break up their marriage. Gypsy didn't love him. Gypsy's incapable of empathy. Ryan wanted her as a prize. It was a weird dynamic. I think both guys aren't right in the head. I'm guessing you and Christy are no longer friends. I cut her off. I'm done with her. Won't be shocked if Christy cuts Gypsy off down the line too. Gypsy will burn every single bridge. Trust me. They can't keep friends because when Gypsy gets involved, it's chaos. Gypsy literally creates fires everywhere and says, I didn't do that. Many in her family are pretty disgusted with her behaviour and don't agree with anything she does. Curious as to how they're acting now that you've cut them off. Mia seems genuine and her dad, Christy, seems a bit behind it all. I have no clue how they are acting. I mean, I'd see some fake accounts commenting, so who knows if that's them trolling. I know they troll anyone that speaks up. You think her dad is part of that, says the person. It's funny how she has all these trolls when things go wrong. So there's a big issue. You are posting these photos as if they're news. It's weird though. You knew about them. They were weird then. She was weird then. No therapy since. So remember, Katie had said that she was having therapy, and now apparently she's not having therapy. You have to question everything that she said. I have to show you another video too. All right. So she's commenting on a lot of posts and like, I'm done with her, I'm done with her, I'm done with her. I'm curious about Ryan's comment that Gypsy sent pics of the pregnancy tests months prior to her saying she got pregnant, after she was still calling Ryan and messing with his head after she got back with Ken. And that is the reason why I could not rule out that the baby was Ryan's, because it would now seem even Katie has sort of come around to the fact that there is a chance. So exclusive, Gypsy Rose is lying about her pregnancy. Behind the scenes details exposed, apparently. And then, don't know about. Sent these, so she says these pictures were posted approximately 2 weeks before the, you know what. You know, they say a picture says it is worth 1,000 words, although one word comes to mind more than the rest. Premeditated. Again, she criticised people who talked about the fact that she was behind it. She was a ride or die for Gypsy. And Katie seems to be the only person that seems to be manipulated by people time and time again. Is it because she has to be first? This is old saying that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Actually, it's from the Bible, but you know. Talking about, and I want to give another shout out to Southern Mutton. Southern Mutton did a fascinating video today. I saw it, and I'm hoping she doesn't mind me sharing it, because it was great, and you have to check this out. I wanted to do this one before we get onto the other ones. This is the link for Southern Mutton's video. Please go give her channel a like, because she says, Katie Joy, and I'm going to remove my face from here. Katie Joy deletes several incriminating posts about 7M. Is she deleting evidence? She has a song that is written on here that I swear is addictive. You'll be singing it. So let's have a look at it. Let's look at this first.
Katie makes manic posts she can't control. Wakes up to being a fool, so she deletes.
So she deletes.
We watch Katie post and take away her biggest lies for that day. That's why she deletes.
If you have nothing to hide, you hide nothing.
Famous last words. Then why do you delete? So I said, this song is catchy as anything. Catchy as anything.
And yet, what are you doing? What you're doing is you are deleting people's social media's accounts, deleting posts on your Instagram, deleting evidence, erasing and removing posts. It's just ridiculous, Robert.
That's the accusation she's made about Robert Shin. Oh yes, hi Short Order. Isn't it a great song? She actually plays the whole song Short Order. I swear we need to get it into Spotify and get it on the charts.
I honestly do not know who she thinks she is. And look at this look on her face of disapproval. But let me show y'all something, because somebody is the queen of dirty deleting. All of the posts you're about to see have been deleted by Katie Joy since the end of May. This May. And every one is about 7M Films, Robert Shin, Miranda Derrick, or James Derrick.
Interesting. All the posts. I didn't realize so many posts had been deleted. I knew that some had been missing.
And this video is going to be a little different, y'all. We have a special song made just for Katie Joy Paulson. So it might go a little fast, but you can always go back and pause it to read the posts after, or pause while you're watching, whichever you prefer. Nonetheless, enjoy.
So there's a whole song. Hardly catch a live, heading to bed, but listening as I fall asleep. Thank you for the content on this night. Have a great live. Thank you, Mimi. It's funny. I often do lives while I go to sleep too. Often it's if Cactus Bill's alive, live. That's what I do with hers. Right, get ready for this song. It's a great song.
Katie Joy posting lies as fact. When she needs to retract, she deletes. Katie makes manic posts she can't control. Wakes up to being a fool, so she deletes.
She deletes.
We watch Katie post and take away her biggest lies for that day. That's why she deletes. It's Katie Joy's biggest flaw, always breaking the law, because she deletes. But the world already caught her tails. Screenshots will always prevail, but she deletes.
Katie Joy Paulson. Oh, I have sung this song. I heard this today, and I've been singing delete all the time.
Katie Joy needs to post first because of her greedy thirst. She'll deletes.
Everybody, again.
Katie makes manic posts she can't control. Wakes up to being a fool, so she deletes. We watch Katie post and take away her biggest lies for that day. That's why she deletes. We watch Katie post and take away her biggest lies for that day. That's why she deletes. It's why she deletes. It's Katie Joy's biggest flaw, always breaking the law, because she deletes.
Isn't this a great song? Are you singing yet?
It's Katie Joy's biggest flaw, always breaking the law because she deletes. If the world already caught her tails, screenshots will always prevail. Not sure why she deletes. But the world already caught her tails, screenshots will always prevail. Not sure why she deletes. But the world already caught her tails, screenshots will always prevail. Not sure why she deletes.
And there you have it, y'all. Who's the deleter? I say it's Katie Joy. Because first of all, Robert Shin doesn't even have social media to delete on.
Isn't that a good point?
But according to Katie Joy, Robert is scrambling, panicking, and deleting evidence, y'all.
I thought she got a cease and desist a few weeks back. She's gone very quiet. I wonder if that came from her lawyer. Imagine her lawyer sending her. Well, that's true. That would be very interesting. But what's more interesting is all the posts that have been pointed out as missing, suddenly deleted.
I mean, she's accusing Robert Shin of breaking the law. So we can say the same about her, right? Because she is being sued by Robert Shin, Miranda Derrick, and James Derrick. So why are you deleting evidence, Katie Joy? There are more posts that Katie Joy Paulson has deleted recently. So leave in the comments below if you'd like for me to make a part 2. And if so, what genre I should make the music. So I'll see you guys on the next one.
All right, she's going to play the song again. So get ready. We need to do it as a karaoke, I reckon. I reckon we need to do it as a karaoke.
Now, I'm going to leave you with Katie Joy's own words.
Sometimes they have to just clap back. And that's what happened. But then they deleted it. Thankfully for the internet, nothing goes away.
Thankfully for the internet, nothing goes away.
Screenshots will always prevail. Not sure why she deletes. Katie Joy needs to post first. Because of her greedy thirst, she'll delete.
There you go. There you go. So that's Southern Mutton with this very amazing song. Don't steal all my subs, Harrison. All right. So that's Southern Mutton with the famous Katie Joy deletes. Do you think that could be number one? Do you think that could get to number one? That's a pretty good, it's a very catchy song. So now, must be nearly your bedtime, Harrison. I've had a pretty, you only got the subs because of my good looks. You'd vote for it. Tax Max Facts, Thunderclap. Yeah, give Southern Mutton a sub, and of course I've posted Harrison's channel to give him a sub as well. At least you can't say I haven't promoted his channel. Short order. Channel 9 journalists and the Associated Newspapers are all striking for 5 days. There's 20 journalists in Paris at the moment that are also likely to be striking over a pay deal. So apparently Channel 9 have said they're going to put skeletons, they're going to have skeleton staff, but the stories may not be as good as what they would be normally. Well, I mean, they make it quick. The age is affected. Hang on. That's called leverage. Of course it is. I'll just deal with it. I'll just talk about this and then we'll get on to so 90% of Nine's publishing staff walk off the job. So it says all journalists working for Nine entertainment newspapers are going on strike. Staff at Night, the Network month, including The Age, the Sydney Morning Herald, Financial Review, WA Today, Brisbane Times, have voted in favour of a 5-day strike. To take industrial action for a minimum of 5 days coincides with the all-important start of the Olympics. And we'll see most journalists who dispatched to Barras walk off the job, while skeleton staff will be on deck for newsrooms locally. Significant blow for Nine, which owns exclusive broadcast rights, and it also takes the rights up to the game in Brisbane. They were offered a 3.5% pay rise, but they would, but to staff in a desperate bid to prevent strikes, compared to 2%, which was already in place. They've decided that Nine Publishing Managing Director Tori Maguire called a snap all-staff meeting on Thursday. However, 90% of journalists who are part of the Met Union voted unanimously that the offer just wasn't enough to prevent strikes, going ahead from 11 a.m. Friday for 5 days. Multiple staff members said they were very angry. Pay rises have failed to keep up with the soaring inflation costs. While the culture is suffering following the recent announcements of 200 planned redundancies, including 90 from the publishing division. As they say, as a result of the lack of staff, newspapers and websites over the weekend and into next week will lack colour and originality, with editors instead forced to rely on outsourced content from globally published agencies as opposed to specialist reporting. A Nine spokesperson said plans were in place to ensure production would not be impacted. So yes, so that's what's happening. They've got 200 strong production crew and broadcast team in Paris. And so that's likely to affect the games. So guess who? Don't make me stop my stream, Harrison, to tell you off. Can't you see I'm busy, Harrison? Ringing me in the middle of my stream is not going to help. All right. I'll block you otherwise. You don't want that. Oh, and in fact, I think the Rugby Sevens start tonight, I think. Uh-oh, Auntie spoke. I know, Laura, right? Yeah. Oh, dear. Let me on then. That's not really. You want to play that game? Oh, Harrison. The answer's no. Not tonight, Josephine. I'm busy. Okay, so let's look at, so the Olympics could be impacted. I sort of laughed when they said that it's the news are going to lack. Huh? I'll never swear again if you don't. I was going to say, that's perfect. It's going to be interesting to see what they do while the strike's on. Okay. So Katie did a whole video on Gypsy Rose. You're obviously too young to get the joke, Harrison. That's okay. All right. We're going to speed this up. I'm going to put subtitles on. And we're going to speed up the sound. All right. Here we go. Exclusive. So this is an exclusive, apparently. Okay. An exclusive. See how much of it we already know.
Days after the, or within 300 days of the termination of the marriage, the divorce, we'll do a paternity test. It will show Ken is the father. It will show that Ryan is not the father. Ryan will sign a piece of paper accepting that he is not the father and acknowledging he's not the father. Ken will sign the same piece of paper saying he acknowledges he is the father.
That might be a bit too fast. So she's saying in 300 days. How hard is it? Very hard, Harrison.
Days after the, or within 300 days of the termination of the marriage, the divorce, we'll do a paternity test. It will show Ken is the father. It will show that Ryan is not the father. Ryan will sign a piece of paper accepting that he is not the father and acknowledging he's not the father. Ken will sign the same piece of paper saying he acknowledges he is the father. And then after that, then there's no more to be discussed. It's over. Paternity is established.
Now, it's interesting because remember, TMC did a report, and we read that it was 300 days from the service of the divorce decree. So, according to TMZ, Ryan's lawyer is saying he wasn't served till July. So, it's not as simple as what she thinks it is.
Hi, friends. This is Katie. Hi, friends. This is Katie from Without a Crystal Ball.
I'm just so surprised she doesn't edit the audio on this.
Hi, friends. This is Katie. Hi, friends. This is Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back.
So.
Hi, friends. This is Katie. Hi, friends. This is Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome.
Hi, friends. This is Katie. Hi, friends. This is Katie from Without a Crystal Ball.
Back to my channel. It is July 24th, 2024. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. All right. If you have followed my channel, you know that for years I've covered the story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, well before she got out and was released, and before she became this huge internet sensation, has 10 million followers, and before she got a reality show, all of it. Gypsy has had quite a controversial time on social media.
It sounds like she might be jealous, hey? She says, I covered Gypsy way before she had all these followers.
24. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. All right. If you have followed my channel, you know that for years I have covered the story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, well before she got out and was released, and before she became this huge internet sensation, has 10 million followers, and before she got a reality show, all of it. Gypsy has had quite a controversial time on social media, and a lot of the reason why I've had to step away from her and the family has a lot to do with how they're behaving online, how they're treating people, how she's treating people, and just a lot of the deception that she's putting out publicly about her life, about her.
But a lot of us didn't. It was easier for a lot of us not to believe that hype because we weren't invested. And it's funny how she, as I said, she talks about being manipulated by the family. She must be the only person that gets manipulated all the time by people. And I can't help but think whether we're going to get the same story about the Wilkins family manipulating her.
Current situation, about her pregnancy, about her divorce, about her marriage, about all of it. And if you watch the series, you kind of see that it's very clear that Gypsy and Ryan were not compatible. And Gypsy for sure still had lingering feelings for her ex Ken that she never resolved. She basically marries Ryan on a rebound. And even in this last episode, Christy claims her stepmother that Gypsy ends up marrying him so that she can parole to his house because she couldn't go to a house of a boyfriend. She had to go to a family. And because of her condition, she couldn't live on her own. And
What condition? I mean, that just and it looks like Christy is an ableist, so she's enabling the behavior. If Christy hadn't interfered, would Gypsy have ever heard from Ken again? Would she have hooked up with him, I guess, is the saying, or is it her stepmom that has done that?
And Gypsy married him so that she would have a place to go and wouldn't have to, quote unquote, burden her family. Regardless, the way that it was framed by Christy, it was almost like she was using Ryan for housing. And I don't know what the story is, but that's what was said on the show.
She doesn't know what the story is, but that's what was said on the show. Interesting. Katie Jo. I keep singing delete, delete, delete.
So Gypsy has, in the short span of 7 months, been released, been married. She's now going through a divorce. She's pregnant, and there's questions about the paternity of the baby. And there's just a lot of questions about what this is going to do to the divorce, if the pregnancy even happened with Ken or with Ryan, and what the backstory is about.
If the pregnancy even happened with Ken or with Ryan, isn't that paternity? So she's been released for 7 months. You can't say the divorce because, you'd say she's been released, she cheated. She's niggered talking about what she's done since leaving. I know she has, isn't she? But you were so sure, Katie, of who was the father of the baby. Remember, she said, I'm 100% certain, or I know for a fact Ken is the father. She wrote, I know for a fact. And those of us said, how do you know for a fact? Were you there? And that's, of course, where all the memes came from. The fact that she was snuck in the bedroom.
Married. She's now going through a divorce. She's pregnant, and there's questions about the paternity.
She got married, hooked up with an ex, broke off her marriage
of the baby, and there's just a lot of questions about what this is going to do to the divorce, if the pregnancy even happened with Ken or with Ryan, and what the backstory is about the marriage, the divorce. And I just want to share with you just some information that I know from my direct conversations with the family. And just to be clear, I'm not at a point anymore where I'm communicating with them, because there have been so many lies told to me, so much deception that that I have gone through and been manipulated by not just Gypsy, but the family.
See, she's been manipulated. Do we call this the Swanson defense? I've been manipulated, guys. I've been manipulated.
And I just can't now defend the indefensible. I can have compassion for what someone has gone through as a child. I can have compassion for what she experienced by her mother. I can have compassion that she had a very rough childhood. But at the same time, when I'm doing my best to tell and report on a situation, and I'm feeling or starting to feel manipulated by the people that I'm getting the information from, I don't want to ever appear biased, and I can't, because my job requires that I remain objective.
She was never objective. What if Ryan is the father? Dum dum dum. Plot twist. And that was what we said, Laura. What was this gonna do to? As far as I'm concerned, the fact that she ride or died for Gypsy and was so focused on the fact that everybody else had to be wrong, and now she's saying she can't appear biased. She was biased the whole time. Look at all the horrible things she said about Ryan because Gypsy left him. And Ryan, if he was suspecting that Gypsy was hooking up with Ken, he had every right to be worried, every right to be angry, had every right to be hurt.
That I have gone through and been manipulated by not just Gypsy, but the family. And I just can't now defend the indefensible. Like, I can have compassion for what someone has gone through as a child. I can have compassion for what she experienced by her mother. I can have compassion that she had a very rough childhood. But at the same time, when I'm doing my best to tell and report on a situation, and I'm feeling or starting to feel manipulated by the people that I'm getting the information from, I don't want to ever appear biased, and I can't, because my job requires that I remain objective. And so in this case, I have chosen to step away from the family because I can't trust a lot of what they say, but I can trust that things that they told me about Gypsy and about the pregnancy versus what's being said online are completely incompatible.
No, KJ, you didn't do your due diligence. You were so sure that were rude and blocked subs that didn't agree. You'll never get them back. If that's your best, you're done. I would agree, short order. She blocked people that questioned her. People were saying stories weren't adding up. You had Katie giving us one bit of information, but then that contradicted what Gypsy was saying. And it's like, well, who's telling the truth? This is what people that she absolutely played into Gypsy's hand. She wasn't manipulated. She should remember that as a journalist, that Gypsy has a track record of manipulation. Well, and she also denied the fact that Gypsy manipulated Nick, which now she's saying she did. So she's just done a complete 180 or 360, 180, whatever. Changed her tune.
So let's just start from the beginning. The series has ended. There were 8 episodes. It was the end of season 2. It's unknown if a season 3 is going to happen. Gypsy ends the series. She's pregnant. She has just left Ryan. Ryan says on the series that he was told by Gypsy only a month before that she was pregnant, and that because a month before she was pregnant, he didn't know if he was the father or if Ken was the father. Gypsy asserts online that she and Ken conceived while he was in town for Jazz Fest, which was the end of April into early May of 2024, and that he was in town for a weekend. And on the series, you see Ken come into town. You see that Rod confronts Ken and says, Gypsy wants to get pregnant. Do not get her pregnant. You also saw...
And this is where Ken is stupid as well. I mean, Ken has to take some of the responsibility here. He could have said to Gypsy, he still could have said to Gypsy, no, we need to make sure there is no chance you can get pregnant. I mean, he's a fool. Ken's a fool too.
On the series, that Gypsy's family urged her, or her sister urged her to take Plan B after she had had unprotected sex with Ryan. You saw a fight that Ryan and Gypsy had about her taking Plan B and the discussions of their intimate life together with her sister on camera. And Ryan says at the end of the episode that Gypsy and he had actually been trying to have children and get pregnant for months, and up until the point that she was leaving him. When Gypsy announced her pregnancy, she went onto her YouTube channel and she said that she made it seem like she was going through fertility treatments. She had been on the pill. She wasn't ovulating. She was taken off the pill. Her stories about what she went through have changed. I want to just show you a clip of what she said 2 days ago to just give you a sense of what she's saying today about how she became pregnant.
All right. And of course, those of us that do critical thinking, we're going, this does not add up. There is something wrong here. She can't admit she was wrong. She has to blame someone. She was the last to know. Yes, country girl Brenda. She is prison smart and she knows how to deal with KJ telling her what she should and shouldn't do. That's how I see it. She got KJ back and what? Correct. Remember, because there was that time she turned on her previously. Yeah, that's right. She would have learned how to manipulate people in prison to get what she wants.
When I got pregnant, I didn't even think that I could get pregnant because I had seen my OBGYN for the first time. I asked about my fertility. She gave me a blood test. We did labs to see if I was ovulating on a regular basis. And so when I got the results back, she's like, chances are you're not ovulating on a regular. So whenever Ken came to visit me, I'm like, chances are that's unlikely to happen. I've got too much going on right now. I'm going to have to be on a medication to make me ovulate because I'm not already ovulating on a regular. So I wouldn't worry about it. So we didn't use protection.
So it went from she had been on birth control to she missed taking birth control a couple days to I told Ken that I couldn't get pregnant because I wasn't ovulating, so we didn't use protection. And when Gypsy told me, she told me in May that she was pregnant. She told me the day after she found out she was pregnant. I asked her how it was possible that she became pregnant. Gypsy told me over the phone that she had missed some days of her birth control. She told me that it was the heat of passion. You know, so when you are with someone, sometimes you just don't think about using birth control.
I mean, I'm sorry.
That she didn't think she could get pregnant.
I can't believe she believed that story.
And it just happened. It was unexpected, okay?
It's not going to happen if missing one day of birth control isn't the issue. It's when you miss multiple.
That's what she told me. So online, she gives that similar story. She's also talking about the OB stuff. I can't say anything about the doctors because frankly, I wasn't at these doctor's appointments. I can just go off of what I was told. But then I started to notice that her stories about this kind of kept changing. And what I can say about Gypsy is that because of the way that she grew up with her mom, she can lie very, very, very easily. And she can lie so convincingly.
Picture of KJ in bed with the mistress. I don't think this is helping. This is not helping get credibility back. I mean, if I didn't think she was a credible journalist before, this is not going to help me think that she's a credible journalist. You know, all she has to do is say, "I'm sorry, I was wrong. I didn't do my due diligence as a journalist, and I believed the story that was being sold to me by Gypsy." That would give you credibility. This doesn't.
That you think that she's telling you the truth. But what you don't realize is that she can't keep her story straight. So it'll constantly change because it's a lie. And I don't know if it's done maliciously, but it is done because she wants to please people. She wants to say the right things. And she doesn't want to look messy, right? This is a very messy situation, very messy.
Yes, we said that right at the start. We said things didn't really match up. We read the legislation and said the fact that she's pregnant while she's still married made it messy to start off with, because legally the baby's going to be Ryan's until proven otherwise. But Katie was saying, no, there's 100%. I know for a fact 100% that there's no way this could be Ryan's, and yet Ryan is saying, well, and I said that I had read somewhere that Ryan had said that she was playing both of them. I said today on Nikki's channel, KJ cannot apologize, and she owes everyone an apology for how she's dealt with this and how she's treated. Correct. She's doubled down.
See, so my sort of opinions about things changed pretty dramatically when I realized she not only lied to me about the circumstances, but there had been long-standing issues going on around this for months. And I came into knowledge of this last week. I knew while the show was filming that Gypsy had tried to get pregnant multiple times. I knew that there was a fight about Gypsy taking Plan B. I did not know that the fight was that Mia had her take the Plan B on the show. I was actually told, and I don't even know if this is true, that someone else in the family told her to take the Plan B, and maybe she's taken it multiple times. I have no idea. But that he wasn't mad that she was talking about the sex life on the show, but that he was upset that she took the Plan B because they were trying to get pregnant. It wasn't accidental. And that she had killed his sperm. I was told that he was mad because he felt like she was terminating a pregnancy that could happen. I don't know if that's true. That's what they told me.
And again, if you're trying to get pregnant, if you have said to somebody that you want to have a child with them, and then you're saying that I think at the moment he has every right to be upset. But I know she lied. She should apologize to the husband first for what she said about him. Correct. She needs to. She needs to apologize to Ryan. She was very horrible to him. And I still don't know why she wouldn't have taken that jumpsuit that she bought, the Star Wars one, with her. We all, I don't know.
That the fight was about that. It wasn't the way it was on the show. I was also told that they edited out a lot of the fights because they wanted to protect Ryan because he's a teacher. I don't know if that's true either. That's just what I was told. And I'm starting to realize I don't know what's true and what's false anymore. So they're saying that the fight was really about Ryan says that you killed my sperm, but on the show, it's like you talked about her sex life to my sister. Plan B was a big issue. I heard about it while the filming was going on. The family during this time was very worried that Gypsy was going to get pregnant. They were very worried because she's been obsessed with getting pregnant for years. She was obsessed with Nick. She wanted to get pregnant with Nick. Nick's mom had to step in to try to prevent that from happening.
Oh, hang on a minute. But I thought she didn't. I thought Katie said that Gypsy didn't manipulate Nick. Oh, now we've got a point where Nick's been manipulated. Oh dear.
And the plan B was given an option because when the family had found out that she was having unprotected sex with Ryan, they were like, she is not ready for this. She can barely take care of herself. We can't do this. Like bringing a baby into the situation would be not healthy. So when she split with Ryan, they were kind of like at a point where they didn't think that pregnancy was going to be an issue, but she was still kind of obsessed with it. And I will tell you that I was told by someone, again, within the family, that Lifetime was pushing for a baby. So like producers apparently had said to Gypsy, wouldn't it be great if you got pregnant at the end of the season and we could have like a cliffhanger, you know what I mean? Like a to be continued. So it was like Lifetime was like putting in her ear, like it would be great for her to have a baby. And then she kind of ran with that. Like she was like trying to get pregnant and she never hid her desire to want to have a baby. Like she's been wanting to have a baby. She's 32 years old.
So it's Lifetime's fault. My opinion, I think KJ thought they would use her in a Lifetime series and never happened. She's hurt, yes. I think she's hurt over something, but what that is, I don't know. As I said, I think she was blinded by, rather than looking at it critically, like the rest of us did, she sort of looked at it with a bias, which we know. It's the same with the whole 7M thing. That there's a huge bias there because she's friends with the Wilkins and she's made a promise to the Wilkins. What promise did she make to Gypsy?
Despite what she went through as a child and everything that led up to it, you can't turn off your biological clock. You only have a short window of time that you can have a baby as a woman before it becomes high risk, and she wanted a baby. Now, when she split with Ryan, it was my belief that she wasn't pregnant. And again, I don't know what the paternity is, so I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not Ryan's or that it is Ken's, because at this point, I don't know. I don't know what I can.
She doesn't know. And I believe those posts where she's gone, I know for a fact that it's not Ryan's, have suddenly disappeared from her Instagram account. Katie joined Dolly. You have to play that again.
Can trust anymore. They insist that the baby is Ken's and that the baby was conceived during Jazz Fest. That's what they insist. Ryan says they were trying to get pregnant up until the point she left. He doesn't know who the father is. That's where things stand right now. In order to get this all sorted out, Gypsy has to go through court, through her divorce, to have DNA testing to prove paternity. By the time Ken came for Jazz Fest, there was already apparently pretty significant concern that Gypsy was going to try to get pregnant when he was there. She was very motivated to get pregnant. And the way that this was explained to me by the family. So I told you that Gypsy says she's told she can't get pregnant or she's not ovulating and she is taking off pills or
Why was she told that when she was still with Ryan? So it is, again, as we said, it is quite plausible because at one point in time she was playing the both of them against each other.
Might have not taken pills or whatever her story is. She's told Ken, her new story is that she told Ken she probably couldn't get pregnant, so it wouldn't be a problem, so they didn't use protection. That's the new story. last week, what I was told happened was when Ken arrived, there was deep concern that she was going to try to get pregnant that weekend. And there was a situation where, according to them, Rod told Ken that Gypsy wanted to get pregnant, which you see part of it in the show. But what apparently wasn't shown was that he apparently begged Ken to use condoms and to get a lot of condoms if he needed to get them, and to just do everything in his power not to get Gypsy pregnant, because that was what Gypsy was going to do. She was going to try to get pregnant. And they were very aware that this was going to happen. And
Ken's a fool, in my opinion. As much as you need to, say about Gypsy wanting to have a child, well, and if Gypsy's dad had said, don't, make sure you do this and this and this, if he hasn't done it, then it's on him as well. It takes two to tango. He could have said, no, Gypsy.
And so Rod was hoping that Ken would listen to him, like, please don't get her pregnant, okay? And then Gypsy is now saying, I told Ken I couldn't get pregnant. So it's almost like a manipulation tactic here, okay? So they are pregnant now, right? So she's pregnant now. What I was told was that when she moved from Lake Charles to Cutoff, she had been on the pill. And that when she moved, she had changed.
She probably offered to be her friend, sympathize with her child and fell for it. You have to remember that as sweet as she appears, she knows how to press what she does.
Doctors, because the two places are a couple hours apart. And by the time she got to from Lake Charles to Cutoff, she took her last pill and then she ran out of pills and then she didn't refill them. So she didn't get a new prescription for her birth control. Gypsy had gone on the pill after all the Plan B stuff happened because the family was so petrified that if she didn't take the pill and get on the pill, she was going to become pregnant, that she might potentially end up trapped with a marriage where she's not happy and doesn't want to be with him with a baby. But on top of that, she's not capable of taking care of a child herself.
She still could be trapped with a baby with Ryan. I mean,
she's very erratic. She's very impulsive. It's honestly like trying to navigate and manage a 12-year-old sometimes with the way that she behaves. She doesn't think at all about consequences. She manipulates, lies, and does whatever she wants. And she changes her mind so often, as you saw, like with the dog, like she wanted the dog and then she abandoned the dog and left the dog with Ryan. There was just fear, like, you're not ready for a child. You don't even know how to take care of yourself. How are you going to have a child? So going on the pill was a way to like keep it at bay so she couldn't get pregnant, right? In a lot of ways, it almost felt like they're trying to work with a girl that's 32 but is 12 and they can't manage it. Nobody can manage it. And then all of them want money and are chasing money. So it's a complete mess. It's a complete mess is what I'm saying. And throughout all of that, even with the family trying to get her on the pill and getting her to take Plan B and trying to get her to not get pregnant, she still finds a way to manipulate Ken by convincing him that she's not ovulating. The truth is, the testing she would have done, there's no way the doctor could have told her she wasn't ovulating because she had just gotten off the pill. So according to the family, from Lake Charles to Cutoff, while she was with Ryan at the very end, they say she's on the pill, although Ryan's saying we were still trying to get pregnant. So who knows what she was telling Ryan, what manipulation she was using with Ryan. When she gets to Cutoff, she runs out of the pill, according to the family. Who knows if that's true? And then never transfers the prescription. So she has to get set up with new doctors. She has to get it set up with new pharmacies.
Very convenient, hey? Why didn't the parents take her to the doctor?
And take the time to do it and then goes off the pill on her own, not because the doctor said so, but because she didn't have a new doctor to prescribe the next round of pills. That's the story I was told. So by this point, she's not on the pill. She has her surgery for her nose. She takes a pregnancy test before because they can't do the surgery if she's pregnant, and she isn't pregnant. And then Ken comes for Jazz Fest. And as far as I understand, at that point, she's also still not on the pill. And then at this point, the family is again petrified that she's going to get pregnant that weekend and find a way to get pregnant. And that's where Rod has to come in and like beg Ken not to get her pregnant and to use protection, to use condoms, and to do whatever he could to not get her pregnant. Like, if I cannot express to you enough how petrified this family was about her getting pregnant and how ill-equipped they think she is to be a mother, that would be an understatement, okay? So Gypsy doesn't have a good role model for how to be a mother, and she hasn't done enough therapy at this point to really work through her trauma. And she doesn't have any of the life skills necessary to take care of a baby. And she's very impulsive and changes her opinions constantly. And what she finds to be amazing one day and hateful the next. And because of her trauma, she cuts people off very quickly. And she also
the Archie. No, I haven't yet. I need to. I'm sorry, Big Tony. I've been flat out. I'll have to make a note of that. Plus, today I didn't wake up until 10 o'clock. And then I raced around, did a whole pile of things, and then I fell asleep again. So I've been a bit exhausted by the sound.
So like bounces from person to person, and she's always looking for like a fairy tale. Naturally, when everyone finds out that she is pregnant, it's like people are shocked but not surprised because she's been on this path for months. This has been like a ticking time bomb that they've been trying to deactivate the bomb and get her to not want to be pregnant for 6 months before this happens. And they can't stop her
So
from...
she's been out of prison for 7 months, and for 6 months she's been talking about getting pregnant. Right. Okay.
Getting to her goal, and she's willing to do anything at all to get pregnant. She wants a baby, she wants to be a mother, she wants a family. You know, like I said, you cannot turn off someone's biological clock, but it's the fact that she's willing to manipulate people to get and achieve this goal, which is like so concerning. And then you add into the fact that she's not ready to be pregnant and she doesn't have the life skills to take care of a child. That has left so many people on her inner circle. Like, they're excited, obviously, and they're publicly showing her support, but privately we're very worried about the...
And then she says they're publicly showing her support, but privately we're very worried, as if she's part of that group. I thought she said she cut them off. Okay, one at 8:30, first rate. Okay, all right.
The baby very worried about the long term.
I might be able to do it tomorrow night. I might be able to look at it tomorrow night or something, or tomorrow.
Very worried about if she'll be able to take care of the child. I mean, there are still ongoing concerns that she could violate her parole at any time because she's on parole until next June. And if she were to violate parole while she's pregnant, she could give birth while finishing up her prison sentence. And her online behavior, where she's trolling people that don't like her, and she's getting into fights with other influencers, and she's getting mad at people that are, I don't know, taking attention away from her. Because of that, people are constantly reporting her to her probation officer. And even last week or 2 weeks ago, she was reported to her probation officer. And last week, there was concern she could be revoked. And so this pregnancy is just terrible timing. She's going through a divorce. She's still on parole, and the baby's going to be born. And if she ever gets revoked, she could deliver a baby in prison, which is what nobody wants. So the ongoing threat of her being revoked, because people are constantly reporting her to her probation officer. And Gypsy doesn't make it hard for them, because she leaves comments with, she left a comment on somebody that she was in prison with, which is against her, which is not allowed with her parole. She can't speak with other people that are felons. She can't speak to anyone from the prison that she was in. And she has restrictions about being in communication with other people from prison. And she got reported for that. They didn't violate her, obviously, but that was a worry last week. Is she going to get revoked? So it's been very challenging for me to stick my neck out on the line and say, don't worry, you guys, it's definitely Ken's baby. Don't worry, you guys, she didn't plan this. She swears this was accidental. It was totally unexpected. She was on the pill, because that's what I was told, you guys. I was told she was on the pill.
And now she's manipulated. As I said, she's the most manipulated person I've ever seen.
And then to find out she wasn't on the pill, and then to find out that she was trying to actively get pregnant, and then to find out that Rob tried to stop it from happening, and then to find out that Ken knew that she was trying to have a baby, and then to find out that she changed her story and told Ken she wasn't ovulating so that they didn't use protection, and then she gets pregnant and then makes a video and says, it just happened, is a lie. She's lying about how she got pregnant. She's lying about the means of getting pregnant. She's lying about when she became pregnant. I don't even know when she got pregnant, frankly. I don't. And I'm not going to say 100% for certain it's Ken until she has this baby.
She's still sucking up to even doing this opinion piece. She's going, of course she is. So now she can't say if it's Ken's baby or Ryan's baby. But last week it was, I'm 100% certain it's not. I mean, even when we put it into the the calendar for due dates and everything, there was still a little bit of overlap between from what. Hello, Mama Celeste.
And they have a paternity test. And I do worry about her fitness as a parent. And I can tell you that the family is worried about her fitness as a parent. And I said to them last week, she's going to put this all out there and people are going to report her to CPS for everything. And they were well aware that that was going to happen. They know that Gypsy is going to constantly get reported to CPS. They know that CPS will probably be very involved because of her crime and because people don't trust her and because of her lack of skills. It doesn't mean she's done anything to the baby, but she's already said she's not going to exploit the child, but she's going to exploit her pregnancy. And this gets me to my final point. She stated that she's not going to put her baby online. But what I'll tell you is that I was told last week she has hired a brand new PR company. And the PR company has put together a plan. The plan is that Gypsy is going to be an influencer. Okay, that's her goal. She's paying this PR company a lot of money. She also hired a manager. She's paying a manager a lot of money. Ken is not working. He moved from Texas to New Orleans, and he was promised a transfer job. By the time he got there and transferred, they didn't have the open position for him anymore. So he is unemployed. And so the reason why Gypsy's going live all the time is because she can make, I don't know, $700, $800 with every live. And that helps them supplement his income. And he's not asking for money according to them, but it's a way for them to support themselves.
How's Ken living if he's not employed? Gypsy has to be the one making the money. So he's unemployed. Wow. So she left somebody who had a job for somebody that didn't have a job. Right. Well, that makes sense.
So she's making money via TikTok, which I don't agree with. I don't think that anyone should be donating money to her. She's already been given so many gifts and profited off of fraudulent illnesses that her mother fabricated, and Gypsy also knew she didn't have. One thing that never set right with me is that Gypsy told me she got 3 wishes, which is not allowed. I don't know how she got 3 wishes. And her last wish she was actually an adult. And she knew that she wasn't sick when she got the wish. So that kind of hit me like hard. I know that she was hurt by her mom. I know she was abused by her mom, but like she also knew what her mom was doing. She knew that she was part of her mom's scheme to get free stuff, even though she says that she had no clue. She knew, at least from my conversations. Once she was an adult, she knew. That doesn't excuse Dee Dee's behavior in any capacity, because what Dee Dee did to her daughter as a child is abhorrent, and she never should have done that. But once Gypsy became an adult, her awareness was a lot more than I think what she's told people online. And she doesn't have to be honest with everyone, but she also shouldn't be pushing false stories to look good, I guess is what I'm saying. So this new PR company, their whole goal is to make Gypsy a social media influencer. And I think my final just moment where I couldn't do this anymore was because of I'd been lied to about the pregnancy. I'd been lied to about the circumstances of the pregnancy. I'd been lied to about details of the marriage, which I can do in a whole nother video. I'd been lied to so much, not just from Gypsy, but from other people. And when I saw what the plan was for the PR, at that point, I knew that there was no intention for her not to exploit this child, to not exploit this medical pregnancy. Pregnancy is a medical condition for a mother. It's managed through doctors. And all of it felt very icky.
Says the other's biggest grift. Well, is she jealous because Gypsy's grifting more than her?
To me, Gypsy's mom got attention for medical purposes. She got accolades, free gifts, and so much for getting attention for being sick or for whatever. Now Gypsy is going to, through her PR, get attention for being pregnant.
Gypsy go after Ryan for spousal support for her and the baby if the divorce isn't done. Well, it's interesting because we saw an article yesterday from TMZ which said that spousal support was off the table for both of them. Neither of them would be requesting spousal support, which I guess is a good thing. And don't forget, if Gypsy's making $700-800 per live, she technically would be making a lot more money than him, because I believe he's working a job. So
there's an outline of showing off baby bump pictures, talking about what her pregnancy diet is. The pregnancy journey is what it's discussed. There's discussions about going on appointments and doing ultrasounds and filming the birth. Gypsy said in a live stream last night or 2 nights ago that she's not sure if she'll do another season, but she would only film the pregnancy and maybe the birth of the baby. And then that would be it. But she told me in May she wasn't going to film any of it. She didn't want any of it to be public. So I can't believe that if she films the birth and then they offer her another season, right, that she wouldn't film the child. Nothing she says today will be consistent tomorrow. And then if she goes on to exploit the child, it's no different than what her mom did. And when she put out the pregnancy announcement, put out the registry, which made me very unhappy because, again, she's asking for freebies like what her mom did, puts out an ultrasound video where she's showing off and showing everyone that she's pregnant and she hears a heartbeat, which I also thought, given her history and her backstory, was, again, inappropriate. I saw the PR schedule and I was like, they want her to believe that she's a famous influencer and that she's just a normal person that should be happy and influence people about pregnancy, and that she should be making a ton of money exploiting herself,
No, Katie,
exploiting a
you might have
baby.
been lied to, but you believed without checking everything and you gloated about it like you knew. It does sound like Katie, doesn't it?
And being an influence. And that was just my endpoint. Like, I have empathy for her. I have empathy for the trauma she went through, but everyone around her is giving her no guidance. Like, and she doesn't listen to guidance. And frankly, the things that they're saying just don't match the reality. And the last thing I'll share is that before she was released from prison, I was told that one of the people that's involved in her series has basically made Gypsy feel like she's famous and she's a celebrity. And Lifetime has made her feel like she's
jealous. That's what it sounds like.
Celebrity. They have not made her feel like she's infamous. She is not famous, you guys. She is infamous. But because she believes now that she's famous, they believe that she's famous. They believe she's too good to have a regular job where she would have to go into the world and have a regular job. I understand it's difficult to get employment as a felon, but they think she's too above that. And so they look at this as her only option for employment. And they were told by someone connected to the Lifetime series, allegedly, that they need to go get their bag because there's so much money to make and they're going to go get their bag. And they are looking at all of this as money. So how do you help someone and make good choices for someone when she's not equipped to navigate her whole life? She had no social media experience. She was raised by a psychopath. She has trauma. She is doing like outpatient therapy, but it's not intensive at all. How do you expect her to make good decisions when no one?
And again, I thought Katie was saying she was having therapy. Now she's only having outpatient therapy, which isn't intense.
In her life is looking out for her best interests, and all of them are going for the bag. They're going for the money. All of them. They want the bag. That's why she's doing the book. That's why she's an influencer. That's why she's doing a series and thinking about doing another season. Gypsy wants the bag. Does she deserve the bag? Is the bag going to get her to the long term, like healthy? No. I've read articles from psychologists that said this is like exactly the opposite of what she should be doing. But they're so concerned that she can't do anything else. This is the only thing she can do. She's already famous, so this is what we're going to do. And that's the exact opposite of the advice I would give, because she's ruining her credibility every day with her lies. She's showing
credibility. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to talk about credibility.
Showing antisocial personality behaviors. She's showing levels of narcissistic behaviors. And all of that is rubbing people the wrong way. And now she's bringing a baby into it with a pregnancy that she's lying to everyone about. There's a lot more I'll share, but this is just the beginning of her lying about pregnancy. And if you've had experiences with them, you can let me know in the comments. If you were a former influencer that also had interactions with them, you can let me know in the comments. Listen, I cared about Christy, and I believed that Christy had her best intentions, and I believed that Christy wanted the best for Gypsy, and I believed that the people around her wanted the best for her. I will say Rod does want the best for his daughter, but he is gone for 3 months at a time working, so he's not at home and can't control what happens. And Mia, the sister, is probably the only one that is actively pushing back and trying to hold Gypsy accountable. And
it's interesting. KJ should take her own advice. Correct. I think that is true. I think the stepmother's got a lot to do with it. As I said, if the stepmother hadn't put Ken involved, would she have got back together with Ken? And don't forget, when everyone was saying Gypsy was seen with Ken and getting tattoos and everything, Katie said, "Oh no, they're just friends. They're just friends. They're not together." And everyone's going, "Oh, you don't get matching tattoos like that, just being friends."
And anytime someone tries to hold her accountable, she pushes them away, cuts them off. And so everyone around her is walking on eggshells because she's held accountable. She will get rid of them. And that's scary to me. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Click on the bell so you never miss a video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.
So there you go. There is Katie. Oh, gee. This is not working. Okay. Oops. So there you go. Tell me what your thoughts are on that. Spill on this thing has been correct. She's been wrong the whole time. So there's so many questions, so many questions. I got so many questions, but I don't know that we're going to get. What subscribers aren't seen. So this is from our TV Insider. So everyone's picking up this information. This one is I haven't seen anything that she's addressed it. I'd be interested to see what Gypsy's got to say about this too. What's aren't seen ads and triggered ad her watch hours seem to be falling. They are hit with bad news about divorce. So it says Gypsy is pregnant, ready to sit down with, but her divorce from Ryan Anderson is set to drag on for the rest of the year. Any hope she had of a quicker divorce have been wrecked. So remember, according to TM Anderson's law attorney, Jeffrey Carrier, said that when married couples without children divorce in the state of Louisiana, they are required to live apart for 6 months after divorce papers are served before they can request a divorce hearing. While she announced her separation in March, she didn't serve the divorce papers until the middle of July. This means the divorce will extend into at least January 2025, which means she will have had the baby. Even though there is a long way ahead, TMZ reports Blanchard and Anderson have already started settling certain aspects. Carrier states that both parties have agreed on no one getting spousal support or alimony. Of course I called it shorter because I read the legislation. We sat here on the channel, we pulled up what the law stated for divorce, and we read it, and I went, this doesn't make any sense. What was being said wasn't making any sense because that's not what the law said. I mean, I was going to say any normal person would check, wouldn't they? But obviously not. Anyway, I know lots of people have a go at me because they say, oh, you always check into things. Well, of course, because I was once told by somebody that I was banned from attending somewhere. So I went and I spoke to the organization and they said, well, who on earth would? No, you're not. How would you think that? And and they worked. I didn't say who it was. I had said what had been told for me. They worked out who it was. Then it was like, well, the person says, oh, well, you got me into trouble. And I said, well, you're the one that didn't tell me the truth. It's you that don't want. It's that you that didn't want me there. But you've pulled it onto somebody else. So yeah, I always check. I've learned in this world that people have agendas these days, and you can't trust anything anyone says. It's great to check up live on these things, yes. I mean, as I said, everyone's now quoting TMZ in this. And I often, when we look at articles and stuff, or we look at this, I'm saying this is coming from TMZ. Anyway, so they've said that, so there's no spousal support and they will figure out the details regarding the property. However, the dog's already going to Brian. She said 3 months later, she talked to her private Facebook page, revealing people have been asking what's going on. And unfortunately, my husband and I are going through a separation. I moved in with my parents at the Bayou, and then of course she rekindled her. So, according to the law, if the mother of a child is married to or has been divorced for less than 300 days, when the child is conceived, then her ex is presumed to be the father, which again, we've said. So legally speaking, Anderson's name would go on the birth certificate as a child father. Under the law, Urkel would have to establish paternity through a DNA test. So again, when Katie was saying it's going to be a quick, and when they're saying Katie's saying it's going to be a really straightforward divorce and everything like that, we're going, no, that's not what the law states. And everyone says she filed divorce in April, but the calendar does too bad. Too bad KJ didn't learn how to fact check before she yaps all over the internet. Oh, here we go. But, everyone was saying he was too controlling or he was asking too many questions. Well, it sounds like he would have had questions to ask, but she was still talking to her ex. I mean, everybody knows that that's a no-no in a relationship. All Ryan has to do is file the paternity test, and then the state's involved. Well, I mean, because they live in Louisiana, the Louisiana law will be kicks in. So, anyway, she's Miss Balls has all the receipts because not all of these comments now are remaining because she deletes people that don't agree with her. I won't be on for much longer either, people. I'll just let you know that. I know I say that, and then I'm on for like 2 or 3 hours. It says, what happened between you two? Gypsy is a psychopath. Gypsy happened. But she's showing us viewers she's like her mother. And Miss Balls says, but Gypsy's nothing like her mother, right, KJ? Remember, she also said she wasn't like her mother. That's what I'm saying. It's whiplash, and you can't trust journalists to do stuff like this. Without a Katie goes, would you rather that I lie and say she's great? No, whiplash. She conned me, and she's conning the public. And Miss Ball says to that, you can't con a legit journalist in the first place. How many people have she been conned by? I wish I didn't have to reveal this stuff, but I'm not lying about all of this. I just can't keep supporting or defending this behavior. I can't associate with it in any capacity. Didn't she say she wasn't lying about stuff before? Didn't they claim Ken and Jip were only friends in the beginning? Yes, they lied to me about the relationship, which literally made me start to question everything. Then it says, she probably will not talk to you again since she verified she lies. Don't worry, I blocked them all. Gypsy got mad at me last week because I confronted her about her behavior on the show, her comments on social media, and the real concern of her getting sent back to prison. It's been 2 months of her trying to gaslight me. I blocked all of them after the season finale because I knew none of them could be trusted. They're not blocked. Well, they're not blocked, actually. Let's just do this real life. Let's just check for real, hey? I think Harrison's gone to bed now, by the way. How do we find out? How do we find out who's following her and all of that sort of stuff? I'm not very good at this stuff. Followed by. Ooh. How do you follow? How do you pick up? How do you find out who they're following? Hang on. This has just got me interested. I'm just now looking at something. Okay. I just clicked on a link because it said, and I'll show you, Joanne. I still think there is a chance it could be Ryan's. And how is that going to go with Ken? I mean, will that be the end of it all? How will she go? Oh, here we go. Followers. Here we go. All right. I need to find out who she's following. Hang on. Following. Sorry. I've just realized how to do it. All right. So let's have a look. She's following. Search. Ah! I blocked them. Let me just show you again. Following. There you go. Imagine she gets a divorce and it's her first husband. I know. I have blocked all of them. Right. Yes, we can see that you blocked all of them. She hasn't blocked all of them. I've just shown you live. She hasn't blocked all of them. I've just confirmed because again, I had to check. No journalists are reported is easily this
clear. Like, I'm not at a point anymore where I'm communicating with them because there have been so many lies told to me, so much deception that I have gone through and been manipulated by not just Gypsy, but the family. And I just can't now defend the indefensible. Like, I can have compassion for what someone has gone through as a child. I can have compassion for what she experienced by her mother. I can have compassion that she had a very rough childhood. But at the same time, when I'm doing my best to tell and report on a situation, and I'm feeling or starting to feel manipulated by the people that I'm getting the information from, I don't want to ever appear biased, and I can't, because my job requires that I remain objective. And so in this case, I have chosen to step away from the family because I can't trust a lot of what they say, but I can trust that things that they told me about Gypsy and about the pregnancy versus what's being said online are completely incompatible. So,
and then it says how it started. So how it started was this. Remember, this is January. Gypsy's husband Ryan picked her up. She and her family will reunite. According to my source, the family's ready to finally reunite after years of separation. Gypsy's dad Rod and stepmother have stood by her through her incarceration. In an interview earlier this week, Gypsy told People she's ready for the release. The family source says she's gone through a lot of therapy. Apparently now she hasn't. Gypsy expressed deep remorse for her role. She hopes to use her voice now to help others from making the same choice she made. That she'll have, the family source I spoke to said Gypsy will have unconditional love and help. Gypsy's story will be shared for the first time in her own words on January 5th. She's an ebook coming out. My source says the whole family is so grateful for the support of so many. I will receive more news. I'll keep you up. Knowing the family personally today has been an emotional day, and I'm so glad the chapter of the nightmare is over. It says, I wonder if Katie Joyce spills so much tea that Gypsy and Christy send her a CND and take out an RO like her on like Fancy Star. Remember, she watched this all unfold, and now she's saying everyone is so blinded by money and fame. Hate to break it to you, sis, but you were never there for it. This is Balls. Miss Balls. Not Christy, not Gypsy. You were a dollar store version of Fancy. Nothing more than a mouthpiece they manipulated because you're so desperate for friendship. You let your bias control you. No reporter would choose loyalty over facts. You've known for a long time how problematic Gypsy is, but because you thought Christy was your friend, you accused Ryan of A and took their word as gospel and now look like a total fool. Complaining you took the heat for defending them. A journalist would never do that. Now you're done being gaslit by people who called you out and are now being gaslit by Gypsy herself. You have lost over 3K followers over your political posts and you flip-flop with Gyp Gyp, and I'm totally here for it. I highly suggest you get the same neurological exams you demand of Gypsy. You need help. If you think you are an alcoholic addicted to the internet with a probable case of MEP, autism, narcissism, and sociopathy, I know it's hard to hear. Probably it's hard for Gypsy to hear you say the same. Do better. Hope this helps. So Miss Balls posted that. The only person who seems to really care about her is her dad and Mia. This is correct. Christy cares, but is so out of her element and depth with Gypsy. I believe Christy's behaviour is very similar to her mum. She's doing things to benefit her and her. Christy isn't a good liar like Dee Dee. Christy just wants the money. They told her to go get the bag. Sad, Gypsy needs to stay away from people who only see her as a cash cow. So you're no longer friends with them. I blocked all of them after last night. It's been a few months of stuff going on behind the scenes. I tried my best to navigate, but no, I'm done. 100% done. I care about them, but this isn't my circus. I saw you previously mention there's no season 2, or are they not currently filming? The last I heard, there wasn't a season 3. Gypsy told me, but she didn't want to film another season, but this was season 2. Oh, I must have missed the first season. This is the season 2, no bother. My tone in my response. So there you go. You said previously she was seeing a therapist. She is seeing a therapist, but therapy doesn't automatically mean a full neuropsychological evaluation. That's what she needs. She's diagnosed with PTSD, but I'm convinced she has a severe personality disorder. So yeah, that's where we stand with that. Well, I mean that if she's putting new submissions and has been fed in the media, I mean, remember, because she has to report it first. Did you guess your order? How did you guess? It's starting to get predictable, right? Oh dear. You must have been having dinner. Yeah, you probably. Anyway, I'm just about to finish up. Actually, I'm going to finish up, but I thought I'd finish up with a sing-along. The sing-along. Oops. I thought I'd finish up with the sing-along, and we would go back to Southern Muttons. Okay. Yeah, it's not her circus, but she's the she's the clown. All right, so here we go. I just thought we'd end this with this video. I haven't stopped talking about Pain to Create all night.
I'm going to leave you with Katie Joy's own words.
I thought we'd just finish up the stream with this and then call it a night.
Sometimes they have to just clap back. And that's what happened, but then they deleted it. Thankfully for the internet, nothing goes away.
Screenshots will always prevail. Not sure why she deletes. Katie Joy needs to post first. Because of her greedy thirst, she'll delete. There
you go.
Katie makes manic posts she can't control. Wakes up to being a fool, so she deletes. We watch Katie post and take away her biggest lies for that day. That's why she deletes.
If you have nothing to hide, you hide nothing. And yet what are you doing? What you're doing is you are deleting people's social media's accounts, deleting posts on your Instagram, deleting evidence, erasing and removing posts. It's just ridiculous, Robert.
There you go. And then we go into the main part of it here.
Look at this look on Katie Joy since the hysteric. And I always go.
Here we go.
Katie Joy posting lies as fact. When she needs to retract, she deletes. Katie makes manic posts she can't control. Wakes up to being a fool, so she deletes. We watch Katie post and take away her biggest lies for that day. That's why she deletes. It's Katie Joy's biggest flaw. Always breaking the law because she deletes. But the world already caught her tails. Screen Screenshots will always prevail. Now she deletes, deletes, deletes. Katie Joy needs to post first because of her greedy thirst. She'll delete, deletes, deletes.
All right, everybody. Yeah. Thank you.
Katie makes manic posts she can't control. Wakes up to being a fool, so she deletes, deletes, deletes. We watch Katie post and take away her biggest lies for that day. That's why she deletes, deletes, deletes. We watch Katie post and take away her biggest lies for that day. That's why she deletes, deletes, deletes. It's why she deletes, deletes, deletes. It's Katie Joy's biggest flaw. Always breaking the law because she deletes, deletes, deletes. It's Katie Joy's biggest flaw. Always breaking the law because she deletes, deletes, deletes. If the world already caught her tails, screenshots will always prevail. Not sure why she deletes, deletes, deletes. But the world already caught her tails. Screenshots will always prevail. Not sure why she deletes, deletes, deletes. But the world already caught her tails. Screenshots will always prevail. Not sure why she deletes, deletes, deletes.
You know what we need to do? And you know what she needs to do? She should ask Miranda Derrick or 7M to dance to it. Wouldn't that be great? Anyway, that is Southern Mutton's video. Go give it a like, go give her a subscribe, and enjoy singing the song. But yeah, wouldn't it be funny to have Miranda and B-Dash and Vic all dancing to it? Wouldn't that be great? Anyway, I hope you have a good day, and or night. I have no doubt that you'll be singing that song all day. Yes, a 7M TikTok dance to it. Yes, that's what I would like to see. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, hey, I would love also that it is a great, I know. It's funny. Someone said to me, I came up with something, and they said, and how do you suggest that we do this? And I said, hey, I'm just the ideas person. It's up to somebody else to make it work. I'll have the idea. Yeah, it is great, isn't it? I wonder if they'd do it. She'd then say it would be harassment, right? She'd turn it in and make it something else. But yeah, it would be funny. Anyway, and now the Gypsy posts are starting to disappear as well, which is very, very interesting. I need to do another video because Bruce Lerman was back in court today, and I need to do a video on that because he's got a new lawyer, and yeah, so I need to just do a video on that, and then yeah, I'll be going to bed. Even though I had lots of sleep today, I'm still very, very tired. Please hit like and subscribe. Harrison did send me that he's got no new subs. If you'd like to subscribe to him, his channel is near the top. And make sure you say hello. Yes, that's all he was trying to ring me, was for me to plug his channel again. Anyway, I will catch you all later. And that was fun as usual, Mama Celeste. I know. Thank you, Southern Mutton, for that great song. I look forward to the next one. And I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.